Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Debbie and I'm a money coach. And every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, I always bring you a great guest in the budgeting and frugal and money saving community. And today is no exception. I am so excited to have Joel and Christy from the Long Run with Joel and Christy. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi.
I was just telling them before, I'm like, I feel like this video has been like a long time in the making, and I'm so excited. You guys are still, in your new place. Like, and now we can make this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lighting is much better in here than it was in our old place.
Oh, yeah.
It looks great. It looks great. Before we get started, so we're going to talk about being free and how to live a healthy life on a budget. But before we get started, do you guys want to let everyone know what your channel's about in case someone's not familiar with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Our main purpose in our channel is basically to encourage people that you can live a healthy life and still be on a budget. You ever heard like somebody to say, I can't afford to eat healthy and I can't afford to, that's not true. You just have to figure out what that looks like for you. So,
yeah. And their thumbnails make you hungry even after you eat. That's what most of this conversation with Christy on Instagram starts off with, you did it again. You got me. Your meals are I'm like, if I could take a picture of my meal like that, I'm gonna get it. So I like to start off when I have a guest on to motivate other people who are either like planning on starting to tackle their debt or already in the journey of becoming debt free. I like to share your story. So I have some questions. Hope you guys don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Fire away.
Thank you. So the first question is like, how much debt did you have when you decided that you were going to start paying off?
There's no easy answer to that, but I'm going to try to. We didn't really sit down and total up everything that we owed. We had a mortgage. We had some credit card debt, probably less than $10,000 of credit card debt. We had a couple of car loans, and another loan that we didn't realize we had, but we had. It's a long, drawn out story. We're not going to get into that. But
it was a very, very small student loan.
Yeah, a little student loan. So anyway, so we didn't really total up everything, but we know we were somewhere over, $200,000, probably $210,000, somewhere in that area with our mortgage.
Basically, where we know that because the mortgage itself was about $190,000.
Yeah.
So $190,000 plus the car notes and stuff puts us over $200,000.
Yeah.
So we know it's at least that.
At least that. So.
It's funny that you include the mortgage because like to me I always like I started off this with Dave Ramsey. Like I think a lot of us have followed Dave Ramsey to a certain point or at least heard of him. And he always says like, what is your debt not including your mortgage?
Right.
And I feel like part is because like if you include the mortgage, then you're looking at a huge like amount, you know what I mean? Like you were talking about.
Sure.
So without the mortgage, you were looking at what, $10, $15?
We're probably 20
to 30.
Yeah, probably like $20,000-$30,000. Yeah.
But we never added it up and that has something to do with what spurred on our debt-free journey. But at the time we never had added that up. Like we were just
People ask me all the time, like, how much debt did you have? And that is such a hard question. Some people know a number and they just spit it out.
Right.
Sure.
But we were paying them on payments for so long. Like I have no idea. Like if I would have just started from the beginning instead of when we actually did, how much I actually had. So
that's true too, because we had our cars for a couple of years. So
and you were paying the minimum, and you were paying the monthly payments on it.
Right.
Yeah. So by the time I looked at it, we had 48,000. I'm like, I would not have wanted to know what our number was at the beginning because I think I was like even more, Okay, so that's
right.
So what was I know the answer to this question because Christy was nice enough to send me some blogs, which I want to talk about. Your blog is fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, no, absolutely. You're a great writer, Christy. You're a great writer. What was the moment that you decide that you were going to start paying off the debt?
Yeah, I'll jump in on that one. I had a pretty good job. Christy had a job, and we were making really good money. But we weren't well. We were making decent money. I'll say that. And yeah, well, really good money is all relative to who you are. So
Yeah, and what you're used to.
what you're accustomed to.
It was the most we had been accustomed to before that point.
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, it was really good. But that all came to an abrupt halt. I lost my job in May of 2013, and we had not really. I know we're going to get to YNAB later, but we had just really started budgeting software. I'd done budgets in Excel on my own because I love Excel and I'm kind of a geek like that. But we never really were serious about budgeting and saving money because we had all this money, and then so we didn't really keep up with debt. And when we actually had to was when I lost my job. We lost probably 85% of our income.
Wow.
And so that was the real aha moment for us, was that we realized that, okay, I'm making this good salary, but it could be taken away from you at a moment's notice. Yeah. And that was the moment for us to say, okay, we've got to do something about the debt. And we got to figure out a plan to do that. And so that was kind of the big moment for us when we decided, hey, we got to do this.
And we never wanted to be in that position ever again, where we were like, how are we going to pay our bills this month?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I've been there. And your aha moment was like the moment, you know what I mean? Financially, you know what I mean? And that's kind of rare. Like in the people I've talked to so far, I love getting to know like how people think about money and how they decide to tackle things. Normally it's the opposite. It's like when they have extra money coming in, that's when they realize, you know what, I want to do this. And you were like the opposite. So instead of where you're making minimum payments so you can grab onto the money that you can, that's when you decided, no, we're gonna change our lives, which is amazing. And it's it's so courageous to do that then, like other people would get into the scarcity mindset and just be like, no, I'm doing the opposite. So that's great. That's great. So what was like the strategy that you decided to use like at that moment moving forward? Pay off the debt.
To pay off debt? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I know some people use the snowball and some people use the avalanche. Mm-hmm. I've kind of likened ours to kind of the kamikaze style because we just started trying to pay off everything that we could as soon as we could.
Okay.
We basically knew that if he didn't get a job that paid exactly the same as he was, we were going to struggle to pay that mortgage and the 2 car notes. So we used any money we could get our hands on to get rid of those 2 car notes as fast as possible. And so it wasn't an interest decision, and it wasn't a smallest debt decision. It was taking the most out of our monthly paychecks. Yeah, and it was those things.
I did get 3 months of severance pay, and we turned it into 6 just by. I think the big thing for us, and I shared this with a guy today at work. I was talking with a guy who's a financial coach. He does DoorDash as see if it's viable for people to make extra money. He's doing research on it. And so we were doing the same thing. But anyway, we were talking about that, and I said the big thing for us was that where was I going with that? Oh Lord, I lost my train of thought. The more hair I lose off the top of my head, the more things just kind of slip out of there.
We were talking about the strategies for getting out of debt, and you talked about kamikaze.
Yeah, there's sometimes we'll add to that though. Anyway,
I said that we paid the car notes off so that we could afford them.
Right. Yeah. We did that. Anyway, I had something really good there. At 2:00 in the morning, he'll come back to me. I said, "Yeah, I should have said that." But anyway, we did that. We took 3 months of severance pay and turned it into 6. I know what it was. Just by finding out what our priorities were. That 6 months that I went without work helped us to realize really what our priorities are in life. And it's not the new cars. It's not, it's not a bunch of things. It's like I told the guy today, it's like being able to get up and go somewhere whenever we want to, because we have money already saved up to do that. And I think that was the goal that I really wanted to shoot for, was that never having to worry about, hey, if I lose my job, how the bill's going to be paid, or I've got so much debt I can't, if I wanted to go up and go to a theme park next week, I'd have to put it on a credit card and I'd be paying it off for the next 3 years. So yeah, that was a big thing for us, was paying it off as soon as possible, as soon as we could, and then start that saving process to where we're where we're having money in our account that we can use for certain things without having to go into debt for it. Yeah.
And after we went through that, then we went through a Team Tiny Shovel. I don't know if you've heard that term on Instagram or not, but it means you're basically just a little bit, a little bit at a time,
a little bit here and there.
Yeah, until like when we finally became out of debt in 2016. So was Team Tiny Shovel on those, like the credit card and stuff, until it was done.
Yep.
How did it feel from going from where you're nervous about the fact that Joel lost his job and deciding that you're going to actually take the courage to attack that, and then paying it off and making that last payment? How did that feel?
Freeing. That's what I told the guy today. He said, "Can you describe it in one word?" I said, "Yeah, freeing." Knowing you're not tied down to, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later too, but
well, I was going to say, back when the Rona happened, started out, and he had his job cut drastically because he works in a restaurant. It was freeing knowing that we weren't going to be because we had money saved up already in an emergency fund, that we weren't going to be in that same position we were in 2013.
Yeah.
So, which he ended up not losing that many hours or that much pay, but there was that moment of the restaurant shut down because
I'm trying to get you in the picture. There we go. That's better.
The restaurant shut down because it was inside of a mall. So we didn't know if he was going to completely lose money.
We didn't know when it was coming back, when the mall was going to open back up.
Right. Wow. So it was freeing to be in that situation where we're not in that situation we were in 2013. Thank Lord.
Yeah. My goodness. Can you guys see the comments, by the way? I forgot to ask you in the beginning.
Yeah, we can.
We see 4. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to say hi, Jan. How you doing? Hi, Jan. She was excited that I was gonna have you guys on. Oh, and Angel, of course, your number one fan.
Yep.
Of course. Hey, Angel.
Hi, Angel. Let me see. Oh, she says she always enjoys Chris's blog posts.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I was so happy that you sent them to me. You said you had to stop for a while, but you're thinking about restarting it again?
If I found time for it, but it was getting to where it was a lot having to write and edit videos and stuff. And, we just went with the thing that seemed to be getting the most traction. So.
No, absolutely. When I had Kate on last week, I asked her, I'm like, she does 3 posts, three videos plus 5, and now she started a blog. I'm like, okay, are you a superhero? You don't sleep, you just fly through the night, Okay.
Sure.
Right.
So now, when I know, you love to share your recipes, and and Joel, you're a runner. So what is your biggest tip on how to be able to save money?
Okay, so saving money. As far as with food, we tend to make things. Now, we also know that you have to have balance in your life. You can't make everything. I mean, you got to have time to live. I mean, if you made everything from scratch, you'd probably never leave your kitchen. But we do make a lot of things from scratch. We don't buy convenience packaged items. Like if a recipe calls for cream of chicken soup, we make that. It takes less than 10 minutes to make that. You don't have to buy the can.
And you control the ingredients.
Yes. And that's the benefit of that, is you're controlling how much sodium and food colorings and preservatives are in your food. So we do that. And we basically follow the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 list as far as organics go, because, you know, we want as much of it to be as organic as possible, but we feel like if you have to make choices on which ones are going to be organic, then following that list is a better way to do it, you know. So you'll see like organic spinach in our grocery hauls, but bananas won't be, or something like that, you know, like because they're not as unsafe to eat that way. So
Yep, and they're like double the price, and it doesn't really make much of a difference. Avocados too.
Right.
I could talk about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. Like, I love that.
Yes.
And that's what I started too, because I wanted to do better for the kids. Like they love to eat like strawberries and blueberries and things like that, and anything like that. Like, I try to get organic if I can, because, you know, like even if shit, you know, they're eating whole, but something with like a large peel, like that to me was like, I remember being at the supermarket, they wanted $6 for 2 organic avocados. I'm like, no, you don't need.
You're not even eating that peel. So
yes, exactly, definitely. And so like, so the grocery budget, like, I know like the groceries are something that you guys really focus on, and I love grocery hauls. I'm always looking for the Cheetos.
Right?
I know. Like I said, we believe in balance, and apparently Cheetos is part of our balance.
It's a boost.
It balances him out.
So I know like when I'm watching your grocery hauls and then your meal plan, and then you guys do something fun. I haven't seen any other channel do it, but at the end of your grocery hauls, you post your meal plan for the week, and you ask like anyone that has the highest votes on what recipe is the one that you're going to share, and it becomes really effective for your viewers. I love it, and I usually mine wins, and I'm so excited to see how you those recipes. I'm like, yes.
Yes, it really makes it easy for me to figure out what video to do. If I have to go with who voted, whatever recipe won is the one, the video I go with. I don't have to really, like, someone asked, how do you come up with your video ideas? And I'm like, grocery haul on Monday. Whatever recipe was voted on for Wednesday.
Yes.
I don't have to think about it.
Oh my God. And my biggest mistake is, by the way, you're out of everyone I've on my live so far, you guys have the best Instagram feed. Like, I'm addicted to every morning as I'm setting up to go to work in the morning, and I have my cup of coffee. I'm just flicking through, seeing like what Joel is singing in the morning in the shower.
Right?
So much fun. Like, Wednesdays you do trivias, like you ask a question about yourselves. It gets answered on Thursday. I'm your internet stalker, by the way. It's just so much fun, you guys. It's not only the YouTube channel, but it's the Instagram as well. And I'm gonna link both of them down below. And the one thing I want to also link is your blog, in case you decide to start it up again, because the 2 articles you sent me, Christy, they were great. I literally had a cup of coffee and I was reading them, and I was like, I learned so much about you. And your perspective on finances is so smart. It's so smart. I really enjoyed it. Let me just see here real quick.
I was going to say, you know, the shower concert series thing started out as a joke of me just catching him singing in the shower, and I posted it, and everybody loved it so much that now he actually plans the song. So he knows it's happening. I'm not like, I'm not stalking him.
I enjoy it so much. I really do. And then of course you get me every time, because you post like I don't know if it's the picture for the dinner before, or maybe I'm behind, and by the time I'm watching it in the morning, it's your post from the night before. But your thumbnails, and you get me hungry. What picture makes you hungry in the morning as you're having coffee? I'm like, every time. Oh, she did it. And Angel's going crazy with her comments. Let me see what she's saying here. I've become familiar with the Dirty Dozen list. Yes, it's a money saver. It really is. I love the shower song series and the trivia. Yes. I normally get your trivia wrong, but I try.
No, he's really been messing with everybody lately.
I've gotten chastised at work. we have a lot of our followers. A lot of the kids at work get a kick out of seeing me on YouTube and on Instagram, and so they follow us. And I got chastised the last couple of weeks because I chose the wrong. They chose the wrong answer, but they said I gave the wrong answer because
you did it on purpose.
They thought they knew me better than they did. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Oh my gosh, and I have a sinking fund for Disney, and I talk about it all the time whenever I'm doing my budget. And then when you guys Disney, I live vicariously like through you. Like you posted a picture at an Animal Kingdom. I think it was like Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, we were there yesterday.
Yes, and you see Joel walking past the sign, and you see like a cup that Christy's holding. I had no idea what was in the cup, but I was like, I know where it is. He's in Animal Kingdom.
She had Joffrey's.
Yeah, I had Joffrey's Lion's Latte.
You left the park the other day, and I meant to message you, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna stalk them anymore on Instagram. I'm done. It's like you were like, oh, I'm gonna go eat after, like, you didn't eat in the park. I'm like, I would live on Dole Whips, like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love them so much.
We did try. We
do a snack every once in a while when we go to the park.
They have something in Dino Land. It was called a cookie
It's
sandwich.
just a cookie sandwich.
It was like 2 chocolate chip cookies with a big scoop of ice cream in the middle of it, smashed down like a ice cream sandwich. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Dole Whips.
Yeah, we are fortunate that we live in Orlando, and they've been having a deal for residents that's like $50 a day.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
wow,
we've been talking.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm glad I live in Orlando because my whole pay would just go. We would just be there all the time. So like saving money, you associate it with groceries. I do so much, and when I'm talking to people online, or when I'm dealing with my clients at work, a lot of the majority of their money goes towards groceries. Groceries, like, what other health tip do you have, like for staying healthy under budget?
Like staying healthy.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I kind of drifted up there.
He did that at the grocery store the other day. The lady was like, "Okay, you can pay."
I'm just standing there. Anyway, I think the biggest thing for me is that I lost. At my lowest weight, I lost 60 pounds without a gym membership. I was 215 pounds back in 2010, and really unhealthy. I've got a picture that I don't even like to look at it anymore. But I was really, really overweight, high blood pressure. Just I still have high blood pressure, but it's not as high as it was. But anyway, I like to tell people that you don't have to have a gym membership. You don't have to spend money to lose weight. I get out and run. The outside is my gym, is our gym. The inside too. But you can do squats on the wall. You can you can do crunches. You can do whatever you want to do inside your house, and then you can get outside and walk. You can run. You can bike. Any number of things outside. And so, I lost 60 pounds just by being outside running. And it's been, and I've kept it off it's been almost 11 years now since I started losing weight. So that's the big thing. You don't have the excuse of I have to spend money to to exercise and lose weight because you don't and get in shape because you really don't have to. And I think I'm living proof of that. So yeah.
And so like you're running marathons, like do you do that like once a year? Like how do you like train for it, and how often do you do it?
I run about probably 4 to 5 times a week. I do a long run on Sundays, which consists of anywhere between 10 to 18 miles. Usually averages about 14 to 16 miles on Sunday. But I get up early. You have to be dedicated to do it, especially if you have a full-time job.
Yes,
That they actually expect you to come into work and do stuff and be cognizant. I get up early. I usually do my short runs. I say my short runs, my short to mid runs during the week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, depending on what my schedule is. Sometimes I go in later, so I have a little more time to do it later in the morning. But I'm usually up and out the door by 4:30 in the mornings.
Wow.
Do a quick 5 or 6 mile run, and then come back in, shower, get dressed, and head off to work. So that's kind of well, a couple cups of coffee too. But
I rolled my eyes because he will say things like, "I'm going out to run an easy 10 miles."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
those words don't even go together.
He had me at 5 to 6. He said it quickly. It was like I think like 5 or 6 minutes. And all of a sudden I realized no, he said miles. Like
yeah.
wow, like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He makes it like it's not a big deal. Then I go to work.
Exactly.
Like 2 miles, I'd be like passed out for the day, calling out sick. So,
yeah.
oh my gosh. So that's one of the things I just did recently about how to frugal ways to stay healthy. And when I said to my kids, we used to use YouTube as a way of working.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can use YouTube. Yeah, a lot of stuff there.
I've done that a lot.
Yeah.
People were surprised. Some of the comments that I got, they're like, YouTube has exercise. I'm like, YouTube has everything. Like,
they got everything. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's such in an easy way. My kids still do it too, and they follow kids their age that do workouts too, and they follow it along. So it's a great way to stay under budget and be healthy. You can't run 5 or 6 miles a day, right, Joel?
That's right.
No way.
No, but yeah, I've done YouTube videos, and they've got every level of, from people who maybe the best that they're physically able to do is just walk in place, all the way up to people doing burpees. Like they do it all, like all every range.
Yes, no, absolutely. So I posted on Instagram to ask you questions, and I thought the questions that I got were really great. So John said, Joel, do you ever think that you'll be tired of Cheetos?
No. Unequivocally, no. I mean, I seriously almost eat them every day. I eat at least a handful every day, pretty much.
He has it with dinner no matter what we're eating.
Well, I didn't have them tonight because we had like broccoli and stuff to go with it. But, if we have like beef stew or soup or something like that, then
beef stew or soup.
You got to have something to go with it.
Beef stew or soup.
Huh?
That is, Cheetos don't go with those things.
I beg to differ. I think I'm proof that they do.
My mom used to have a bottle of hot sauce on the table, and like my kids, they go through ketchup like crazy. I used to say like I should just invest stock in ketchup no matter what. But my mom have a bottle of hot sauce, and no matter what we were having, she would just take the hot sauce and just put it on top. So Cheetos with different meals. It doesn't sound strange to me after living with that.
Right? Thank you.
Even on soup, I would just see, I'm like looking at her like, please, soup? Like nothing? Yeah. Like, okay, all right. So Cheetos, I'm good with it. And Christy, like, what's your favorite treat?
I saw that question. I was like, how do I answer that?
Because I'm just going to tell you this: if we go into a convenience store to get a snack or something, it is a life-changing decision for her.
Well, we don't do it often, and you don't want to mess it up.
Say that again. Why?
We don't do it often, so I don't want to mess it up. I want to make sure I get some. But But like if that is the situation more often than not, like if I'm just not caring one way or the other what I'm eating, then my answer is probably going to be like a Little Debbie snack cake. I'm just a real big fan of that for some reason.
Yes.
Like the chocolate chip cream pie ones, and then the fudge rounds.
Oh, the
So good.
Little Debbie's that are my favorite are the or the holiday treats, like the little Christmas trees that
Mhm.
I grew up with that. Like that was a special treat in my house, and I'm like so Christmas.
That was a big one for my mom. She was always a fan of the little. Yeah. But
Yeah, absolutely.
but like as far as things that are like so important to me that I bring it in the house, there isn't anything like that. Like I usually have like some like a thing of like a nut blend that I'll have, and it'll take me a month or so to go through them. And then I'll also have like bananas, or like we have a pineapple right there that we haven't cut. I like fruit, and it kind of helps curb that I'm more of a sweets eater than a salty eater like him. So like pineapples and bananas kind of help curb that desire for that. So I don't really bring a lot of like treats in the house like
You
that.
sound so healthy. Like for my husband, it's popcorn, and when I did a Walmart grocery, I don't know what it was. If it was like something free that they threw in, but they threw in like a seasoning for the popcorn, and it was ranch.
I've seen you haul that.
We're that, so twice a week on Fridays and Saturdays we'll just make like a huge. I mean, I got a popcorn machine. I might as well have like gotten. Actually, I did. I got a backup because I liked it so much, because I thought I'm gonna turn the engine, and it was such a cheap machine. So I actually do have a backup, which I don't have a backup of anything else except that. But we pop like a huge amount of popcorn, and I just season it with that, and that's like my treat. So I'm healthy throughout the week, and then Fridays and Saturdays I'm all about that. So it's funny how like he has his Cheetos and he runs, and you're like, I have a pineapple, and it's right there.
I can't run, so I have to eat pineapple.
Yeah, no, you're so disciplined. You're so disciplined. That's amazing. That's amazing. So April, of course, is watching. I actually had to ask her what this was. So she wanted to know, like, why do you use YNAB? Is there any particular feature that you love about it? So do you want to explain?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I love about it. It's spelled out as you need a budget, and pronounce it YNAB.
Hey, you might have to turn it around so that
Yeah. The other way.
That way.
Okay. I gotta look.
Yeah, and so the reason that we chose that one was because it's more of it gets more into your lifestyle than most of the other budgets. Most of the budget softwares are just very. I mean, they're kind of like Excel. They work. I know that's Anyway, but YNAB it's more of a philosophy, I guess you might say, than anything else that I've ever tried. And it has 4 different tenets that go with it. And the first thing is give every dollar a job. Be the boss of your money. Don't let money be the boss of you. Give every dollar a job. Everything that you come in, everything that you make in your income. All the dollars have a job, and they have a job to do, whether it be electricity or mortgage or groceries or new Apple Watch or something. It's got to you're giving it a job to do. It has you want it to fulfill its money destiny, and so you give it a job to do. You get some dollars, you give them a job, and then you watch your money work for you, and you be the boss of it rather than your money being the boss of you. The second thing is to embrace your true expenses. I think a lot of times I know I did this for a long time. You have one account, you pay a lot of stuff out of it. You just go buy snacks here and there. You don't really keep up with what you're spending. If you're giving every dollar a job, then you're starting to really track where your money's going. If you go to the convenience store to buy, a icy Coke and a fudge round, then it comes out of a certain account. And That way you understand what your true expenses are. You don't look up one day and say, I thought I had, $800 in the bank, but now I only have two. You don't really know where your money went to. If you have $1,000, you spend, 700 of it on, groceries and mortgage and rent and all these other things. And you say, well, you got $300 left, but hey, you forgot about your insurance, or you forgot about some other expense that was coming up, and you realize the expense is more than what you have left. Then you're not really embracing your true expenses. Until you sit down and write down what your true expenses are, then you're always going to come up short on your money every month because you don't really know what you're spending.
Yeah.
And so you embrace your true expenses. And then number 3 is rolling with the punches. Our tagline is it's a long run, give yourself a little grace. Well, YNAB allows you to do that. It allows you to roll with the punches. Say, you needed an extra $100 in groceries this month, but yet you didn't spend as much money on electricity or your fund money, and you have a little bit left over. Well, you can change that and you can put it into your grocery budget to help kind of shore that up. And so, you just kind of roll with it. A budget is you be the boss of your budget. Don't let your budget be the boss of you. You can roll with different expenses. If you have our grocery budget, we've gotten it down so far now that we use the excess to fund our household essentials, where we buy things for the house. And so we take that extra money every month and we move it over to another account. And when household expenses come up, then we take that money out, and we already have the money there to buy those things. And then the 4th thing is age your money. And by that, I mean you want to be living at least 30 days ahead on your income. That was one of the biggest draws for me early on, before I really understood what the other 3 rules were. I wanted to be a month ahead on our income. And so we started using YNAB about 6 months before I lost my job. And that first month I said, you know what? We have enough money right now. I could give every dollar a job, and we'd have enough money in our account to go ahead and fund February. So this was January. We could go ahead and fund February. So all the money that actually came in January, we actually used towards March. And so we got a month ahead on our income. So we began to break that paycheck to paycheck cycle, where I'm not spending money that I make in May. I'm not spending it in May. I'm spending it in June. And so once you begin to get that month ahead, then you don't have to worry about, okay, I don't have enough money until my last paycheck comes in. Well, it doesn't come in to the end of the month. Then you don't have to worry about that, because the money that you're making this month is not going to be used till next month anyway. And so you can start the budgeting process early, because you know how much money you have coming in and where it's going, and you start giving those dollars a job a month ahead. So I think that was the biggest thing for me. That was that it became a lifestyle more than just a budgeting process. It was more than just numbers on a screen, which I love numbers on a screen. I'm just a nerd like that. But it was more of a process than it was just sitting down, fiddling with numbers, which I love to do anyway. So it became our lifestyle rather than just something that we followed, every month.
When you're saying some things, and I wanted to jump in, I didn't want to interrupt you, because you're on and you were dropping such information that I really hope that people are taking into consideration. So many comments that I are about, like, how do you track your expenses? Like, it seems like such an easy thing to do, but when you start doing it, you realize it's not. But just like you said, like, it starts off something you have to do. But the more you get a hold of your numbers and your budget, and you realize you can make your money work for you, like you said, assign it a job, it starts becoming fun. It's becoming fun. You feel empowered to do that. That's one of the reasons.
I had no idea. I had no idea that I loved sinking funds so much until we actually started doing them. And it became a challenge to, how quickly can we fund this so we can buy this? And it became less of a chore than it became more of a game for me at least. So
yes, and to me, sinking funds are fun, but they also take the stress of budgeting for me, because
absolutely.
I've mentioned it before, but my first sinking fund, auto fund, because we also had 2 cars that we paid off, and that was part of our debt. And once we paid them off, again, so freeing. I felt like I lost 50 pounds off my shoulders. I was like, that was the best diet ever. So,
Yeah.
but I know I'm gonna run these cars to the ground. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I am not gonna be stepping into an auto dealer unless I'm getting maintenance on the cars. And my biggest pet peeve in budgeting, and my husband and I are just like used to, we're a team. And that's another thing I love about it. It's like as you're talking, Christy's there and she's like, yep. It's like motivating seeing a couple like my husband and I are the exact same way. And for me, the like nails on a chalkboard when it came to my budget was our budget is auto. Like, he would say, like, oh, the car has to go in for maintenance, like I need an oil change. And then that would turn into a $100 thing, because since we don't
Right.
take it as often, it needs this and it needs that.
Yep.
And to pay it, because again, I'm gonna let these cars run to the ground. I'm not getting another car anytime soon. So that was something, like I said to my husband, I was like, I think we should set up a sinking fund for it, because every single time it drives me insane that I think I'm gonna have this money to move towards something else, and then I don't, and I feel like I take a step back. So instead of taking something negative, you turn it into a positive. We made a sinking fund, and now I'm excited to throw money in it, because when the car is ready, I don't care. I'm like, I care.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah, we do that for Christmas gifts and anything else we want. I mean, it's back in the day, I'm aging myself now. I guess they still do it. I don't know, but at the bank they used to have the Christmas club, and my mom used to go every week when my dad got paid, and she'd deposit his check, and she would put some money into the Christmas club account. So when it came Christmas time, then they had money for gifts and things. And back in those days, they didn't really understand they knew what credit cards were, but they weren't as plentiful as they are today. And so in order to be able to do that, then you set that money aside. And so we do that every month, and set money aside for Christmas and things that we want to do later. So
yeah, and then it doesn't have to be any stress. And when the holidays come around, you can start shopping early, because you're going to get the best deal.
Yeah.
By the way, again, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, because I've been so engrossed in everything you're saying, but I'm leaving a link to their channel. My favorite video that you've done, and I was in the middle watching your sinking fund before we got together, and I thought you did a great job, Joel, about breaking down what a sinking fund is and why it's so important. Fantastic. But
I appreciate that. We did that early on. That was one of the first few we did, and we had no idea what we were doing. I just put up the camera and just sat right in front of it, and I just started talking. So
that was definitely our first time to use screen recording, I think. So
it was
on the computer,
No, I was like, oh my gosh, everything you're saying is dead on, and you broke it down so well. But
thanks, I appreciate it.
How you save money on your holiday shopping. And I learned something, because I thought, like, I know about, like, I'm so frugal. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, like I use Rakuten and I use it, and I never heard about honey. And I got that from you. And you had another, what was it? A website that you put in what you want, and it'll tell you when it's available and where it's available. I was like, brilliant. I used it. I think of the name now, and I used it that year, and I was like, I got it from you. Like, I thought it was amazing. That was one of my favorites.
Was it Shop Tagger?
Yes.
They actually changed their name to Karma now.
Okay.
Just to make sure that my video is out of date.
But it was great. You spend so much time sometimes trying to get the best deal on something, especially like for kids before people run out of that certain like electronic. And I put it on there, and I got it. I was like, awesome. And I saved so much money on it. So that was one of my
that's good
on finances. Absolutely. Hold on one second. Let me see. Dad is here. Hi, how are you? Oh, Angel says she learned so from that video. Yes, that was. I'm sure she's talking about your sinking fund video. That was really cool.
Gosh.
So, and Annie wanted to know where you guys get your new recipes from. And I honestly wanted to know that too, because I have like a certain amount of recipes that are like embedded in my brain because I make it so much I can do autopilot. But you not only make me hungry, which happens every time almost. I'm like, she did it again. But it's like you always come up with new things. I'm like, how do you have time to come up with these great recipes that are healthy and
Magic.
delicious?
Magic way.
Magic.
First of all, some of these are occasionally we'll share a recipe we've had for decades.
Okay.
Church cookbooks,
Church lady cookbooks.
yeah,
Really?
We have a
we
lot
have
of
some.
those.
Yeah, I think the potato beef casserole that
Yeah.
we did, and that we always talk about chicken and rice casserole. Like those came from church cookbooks back in the day, and some of those dessert recipes that we've done occasionally have been things that we've had. I used to get recipes from like Taste of Home or Cooking Light magazines, and one day I got tired of having all those magazines, and so I like typed up the words of the recipe and then threw all those magazines away because I was in a decluttering jag, and I have it all in a binder. So that's where I got like the old stuff. And then when I want something new, and we like do the try something new recipes, that usually is Pinterest. I will go to Pinterest, and sometimes I just look in the news feed and just see what they have. And then sometimes I'm looking for something more specific. So like this past week, I was wanting a recipe that would use pre-cooked chicken. And I just Googled, searched that in Pinterest until I found something that I was like, they've never had that one. But I mean, that when I get on those, it takes me a little bit longer because you fall into a hole with Pinterest.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like an hour later, and you go, what?
When you said that, my eyes got big as I was like, yeah.
It's like I used to say I don't go on Pinterest because like when you go into it, you just fall like into a hole somewhere. But so that's why I try to make it specific as possible most of the time instead of just searching the news feed, because that will really keep you like trapped for a long time.
It will. Yeah. No, definitely. I like all recipes too, because like when you have like a limited amount, like when I have a limited amount of ingredients in the fridge, like I put in like chicken dinner, and I'll put a vegetable and I'll let it spin and give me a recipe, and it's usually really, really good. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
that helps.
Thing that I have before I go food shopping again, which stretches my grocery budget. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Let me just make sure that okay, I'm making sure I got all the comments in. You guys, I am so happy that you guys were here. Again, their channel is just amazing. It has everything. Like Instagram feed is hysterical. You always make me laugh. Like you always have a joke, and your trivia. Their channel is just I feel like your channel has such a big heart, and it always finds something, whether it's something financial, whether it's groceries, whether it's a wonderful recipe. And it's just, it's amazing. Honestly, I hope everybody goes and checks out their channel and subscribes, because they are just as lovely here as they are on their channel. They're genuine people. And I really appreciate you being on.
Thank you. We appreciate you having us on here. When you started doing lives, we were like, is she gonna ask us? So we've been waiting.
You're so sweet. I felt like for a long time I was like, we gotta do a collab, we gotta do something. You're like, yeah, we gotta do something. And all of a sudden you're nice enough to pop in as you're moving. Talk about being so sweet. Pop in to surprise Angel on the live I had her. And I was like, okay, wait.
Yeah, that was so fun.
That made our day. We love doing that.
That's like the best comments were there too. And I must have watched it a few times just to see her face when you popped up. But yeah. There, I was like, you want to come on? I was so excited you said yes. I've been wanting to ask you for the longest time. So thank you so much for coming on. And again, I'm going to leave all their links down below so you guys can subscribe to not only YouTube channel, but their Instagram as well. And thank you guys for watching live. Oh, wait, we have one more comment here. Norman says, when I was young, there was a bank that would encourage you to save money, maybe a ping pong set, a toaster, and an electronic blanket. Now, now we need encouragement. Thank you for that. Oh, wow. My mom set me up with when you said that, my first account was Valley National when I was in high school. That was my first.
I had never heard of that.
No, really? Oh my gosh, no! It was about Christmas, and I was earning interest on it too, which was like now you like you had 1%, but back then it was a lot more. But
yeah.
Well, again, guys, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you guys for watching live. If you're watching on the replay and you have any questions for Joel and Christy, leave them down below, and I'm sure that they'll answer you as well. And please go check them out.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks again for being on, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. And see you next time. Bye.
Bye.